I do not hide in the shadows. I am it. I am the shadow. That signal is signals my enemies to know that I'm here. I am vengeance.
Make a move extreme. Shortcut to your dreams. Go straight to the stars on a flying thing. Get the snow blind game. Pikachu, Chickapoo, in the world. Gotta heat on the phone string. Tear your world apart. Once the magic starts. Do you really want to taste that? What's going on must come down. Baby, you're losing ground. You soon become the mirror lies the whole. She dancing with your blinkers on. For your goal, the invisible bone. Do you really want to taste that? What's going on must come down. Baby, you're losing ground. You soon become the mirror lies the whole. What's wrong with you? Dancing with your blinkers on. The invisible bone.
Hey guys, Movie Fan 2002 here, and I'm here today to review the latest Batman film, simply titled The Batman. So The Batman tells a story, actually is not actually an origin story, but rather in Bruce Wayne's second year of being the great crusader, where he's on a detective story where he has to stop the Riddler and also finds out like a dark truth about his parenthood, and that's basically the whole movie. I don't want to. That's all what I'm gonna say without going to spoiler territory. Yes, this review is spoiler free for those who have yet to see the film. Anyways, now before I talk about like my thoughts like initially and like before the film came out, allow me to share like a little brief history of the production of this film. You see, the production of this movie began all the way back, I think in either 2017 or 2016, somewhere around there. It was originally going to be a solo Batman film starring Ben Affleck as Batman after he debuted in Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice. But production troubles was going a little bit hectic. So, after he finished working on War for the Planet of the Apes, Matt Reeves stepped in to take the role. However, in 2019, Ben Affleck decided to retire from playing the role as the Caped Crusader, where the last time we saw him as the role, outside of Joss Whedon's Justice League, was Zack Snyder's Justice League from last year. In his place, they got Robert Pattinson. And as you can tell, people were not that excited when they heard of this guy playing him. I mean, just imagine what the reactions were like at the time. Yeah, it didn't seem that people weren't excited for the film. But then came the trailer. And when they saw it, they were like, okay, we take it back. He looked awesome. I mean, seriously. When you saw Batman beating up that thug, you're like, okay, looks like Robert Pattinson's gonna do an awesome job as Batman.
The hell are you supposed to be? I'm vengeance.
So yeah, we were all set for 2021, but then of course the pandemic struck and they had to delay the movie to this year. Alright, so as for me, I was really looking forward to this film. I mean, yes, I was a little bit disappointed we didn't get to have Ben Affleck in the role, but either way, I was still wanting to see where this film goes. So, and I apologize this review is late, but I got the chance to see the film on Monday at AMC, and by the way, I got to see the film before AMC did that whole ridiculous price thing with boosting up like charging the price. I mean, really, what the fuck, AMC? You didn't do that for Infinity War, Endgame, and just recently Spider-Man No Way Home. So why would you do it for this? Anyways, I'm sorry, I'm criticizing here. Anyways, so now that I have finally seen the movie with my friend the other day, what did I think of the film? Did the movie live up to the hype? In my opinion, yeah, it actually did. In fact, it's kind of funny. Last year we ended up the comic book movies with a bang with Spider-Man No Way Home. Now we're starting this year with comic book movies with a bang with the Batman. It's kind of awesome when you think about it. Alright, so let's dive into my positives with this film. First off, for those who are wondering, Robert Pattinson nailed it as Bruce Wayne / Batman. I loved his portrayal in this movie. I mean, in fact, even though it does hurt me to say this, but he now dethrones Christian Bale as my favorite portrayal of Batman. He just nailed it in every scene in this movie. Like the way how he talks, to like how he portrays the costume, to like his mannerisms, to even also like learning how to become Batman, just makes it very well. Also, another thing that I like is that whenever he talks more differently, rather than like the other actors, with the exception of Adam West, speaking more like this every time they talk. But I didn't really mind that. But hey, it's nice to have a new change every once in a while. It's kind of similar to the Batman the Animated Series and Batman Mask of the Phantasm. Also, and you know that this movie is called The Batman when 85 to 90% of the movie, Robert Pattinson is in that bat suit. Yeah, 85 to 90% of the film is Batman on screen. Only like 10 to 15% of it is Bruce Wayne, which does make sense. So, and for this being his second year as Batman, it also works very well. Plus, it also gives a rising tension to the police force, and you feel the tension, like the police still have yet to trust him, and I like that. I mean, they're not on board with it. All in all, Robert Pattinson did a great job. But what about the rest of the actors? Did they do a good job as well? Yeah, I would say they actually did. Now let's get the discussion with Jeffrey Wright and Zoe Kravitz, who both play Lieutenant Gordon and Catwoman in the movie. Now you see, in other adaptations, including in the Christopher Nolan trilogy, they've always been more of a white color. But for here, Matt Reeves decided to make them black. However, he did it more smartly, and I thought it works very well. Going into the performances, I liked how they were portrayed in the film, where Lieutenant Gordon is pretty much the only person in the police department who trusts Batman, like as always, just like in the comics, who does a really great job, and he does get some funny banters here and there from time to time. And Catwoman is also great. I really like how she's portrayed in the movie. I really like how she's portrayed, where she's more of like an anti-hero, where what she's doing, she's trying to kill off someone by the name of... She's trying to kill off this person that she wanted dead for years, and it works very well. And I thought that was just so good. And that was just so well. Plus, the relationship between Bruce Wayne and Catwoman in the film was also handled very well. They also did try to do a romance of it, and while it is a little bit similar to how it was in The Dark Knight Rises and maybe Batman Returns, it's been a while since I've seen that one, even though I still remember liking it, I do think it's handled very well. Another character I like is the Riddler, who is played by Paul Dano, who also did an excellent job. Also, by the way, the scenes when it was like doing the whole camera and like showing these victims, it actually brought like a sense of similarity to Heath Ledger as the Joker in the Dark Knight. I thought that was handled very well. Of course, throughout most of the movie, he actually has his mask on. It's not until like near the end of the second act where we see his mask off, and I thought that was handled thought that was handled great. Yeah, he did a fantastic job, and like all the murders he caused, like and like him leading clues for Batman, and like you really like get the tension, like the tension's rising in the film. That's another great element. The tension in this movie is fantastic, and you get the tension being like, oh, oh. It is not a good time to be alive, isn't it? I also like Colin Farrell as the Penguin. In fact, I would say he's even better than Danny DeVito. He did such a fantastic job in the movie. I just loved it. Excuse me. Although he's not in the movie that much, I thought he stuck around for like a really good amount of time. Speaking of, plus it also leads to a pretty awesome car chase with the Penguin. Speaking of which, that leads to another great element, the action. While there isn't really a whole lot, because this is more of a detective story, I'll get to that in a second, but for the action that we did get, it's pretty awesome. My favorite is, again, the car chase between in the Batmobile when he was chasing off against the Penguin. I thought that was pretty cool. As for the Batmobile, while it's not as great as the Tumbler from the Christopher Nolan trilogy, I still thought it was handled very well. I thought it looked really cool. Then again, all Batmobiles come in different shapes and sizes for every actor, so what am I gonna say otherwise? Oh, and even for the Batsuit for Robert Pattinson, I forgot to mention that actually that like the Bat logo is also where he keeps his Batarang, so that's also very cool. So yeah, so it looks like he always has things that comes in handy. Now as for the story, this is actually more of a detective story, just like in the comics, which was something that we've been wanting to see for a while, and I'm glad we got that. It was handled very well in the movie, and it was handled very well. Plus, again, the tension really rises up, and you get terrified of what's going to happen. Plus, I was also fully invested throughout the course of the film. I know some people were concerned like about the film's runtime, and while for some they might feel now people are a bit split on the runtime. One hand, they think the movie flew by very fast. Others thought it kind of dragged on some scenes. For me, I'm in the former category, and I thought the movie flew by very fast. I also forgot to mention that Andy Serkis is a fantastic Alfred as well. He could possibly even be the best since Michael Caine. I mean, when I say, in fact, I could say I would say he ties him. That also did like Jeremy Irons in the DCEU, so who am I going to say otherwise? As for the look of the film, it's stunning. I already mentioned about the actions, but did I forget to mention about the cinematography? Every shot of this film looks beautiful. Like, don't get me wrong though, the MCU, in fact, it's something that you wouldn't find in the MCU. Don't get me wrong though, I love the MCU. Don't get me wrong though, as much as I do love the MCU, and I am still looking forward to Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, Thor: Love and Thunder, and yes, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. I can't deny and say that this is probably the best looking comic book movie I've ever seen. Because the cinematography in this film is possibly some of the best. If it doesn't get a best cinematography nomination at the Oscars next year, I'm gonna feel really disappointed. That, and also for best actor for Robert Pattinson. Yeah, I'm going that far. Robert Pattinson deserves an Oscar for his portrayal as Batman in this film. He earns it. He's no longer that. Yeah, he's no longer the vampire guy from Twilight. He is now Batman. This is yeah. Now, do I have any issues with the film? Well, I do have one small complaint, and that is I wish we got a few more scenes with Bruce Wayne and Alfred, because without spoiling anything, Bruce Wayne and Alfred only interact from like 3 to 4 times throughout the course of the movie, and it's kind of a little bit disappointing in my opinion. Especially with this film being 3 hours long, you were expecting it to be there would be like a tons of scenes. I don't know. I think like 1 or 2 more scenes wouldn't hurt. But either way, it's not that big of an issue in my opinion. Because at the end of the day, The Batman is a fantastic film. and definitely one of the best comic book movies I've ever seen. There was a good reason why I waited until this film to go back to the movie theater, so at least see new movies in theaters again, at least for 2022 releases. Yeah. All in all, this is a fantastic film. I can't wait to watch it again, but unfortunately due to the AMC price, I'm gonna have to wait until when it comes on HBO Max, which thankfully it won't be that long. Because at the end of the day, this is just a fantastic Batman film. And I loved it every second of it. I highly recommend you go see this movie. Please go see it. Although if you do want to see it at AMC, then I hope you at least have enough money to watch it. At least to pay the price for the ticket. If not, then you're going to have to go to a different theater. But either way, go watch it. All in all, great job, Matt Reeves. And whatever you have in store for next, I am looking forward to it. The Batman definitely gets a 10 out of 10. Great job, Matt Reeves. Great job. Yeah, thank you all for watching this review. What were your thoughts on the Batman? Did you love it as much as I did, or did you wasn't just thought it wasn't all that good of a movie? Please comment below and let me know where will the Batman rank in terms of my favorite comic book films of all time, as well as my Batman ranking. You'll have to wait and see. The Batman ranking will definitely be coming this month, but the comic book movie ranking one, that will have to take some time. That'll depend. But there is a if it doesn't happen this month, then I'm definitely telling you that will happen either after the release of after I see Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, and before I see Thor: Love and Thunder. So definitely between the two summer MCU films for this year. So yeah, until the next video comes, guys. Hope you all enjoyed it. Until then, peace. Oh, and one more thing.
Because I'm Batman.
I am Groot.
I'm Batman.
I am Groot.
I'm Batman. Well, I'm Mary Poppins, y'all. Oh no.
I am Groot.
I'm Batman. I'm Mary Poppins, y'all. I'm Batman. I'm Mary Poppins, y'all. I'm Batman. I'm Mary Poppins, y'all. I'm Batman. I'm Mary Poppins, y'all.